Grab your popcorn and snacks. Find a comfy spot, take a seat or lie down, and let me transport you to a place of fantasy, ghost stories, ancient legends, odd creatures, alien encounters, and other magical topics. You may even decide to join the conversation. From faraway lands to your own backyard, with a small dash of pixie dust, turn out the lights and open your minds. The journey is about to begin. Hey, welcome to the show tonight. Nice Wednesday evening for those of us in California, and a Wednesday night for you guys in on the East Coast. I've got hopefully a great show lined up for you guys. I haven't heard from our guest, so I'm kind of on the rails, on the edge on whether he's going to make it tonight or not. But you know what? If he doesn't, that's fine too. We can just simply sit here and have open lines tonight. Well, open chat room tonight, and talk about different things. Since Halloween's coming, we can talk about stuff related to that even. Okay. Anyway, my name is Charlotte. I'll be your there he is, and we have a guest. My name is Charlotte, and I'll be your host for the next hour. I run the California Haunts Paranormal Investigation Team based out of Sacramento, California. You can find us at www.californiahaunts.org. And also, if you want to find the extra radio show stuff that we have, look it up at www.californiahauntsradio.com. Tonight, we've got a wonderful show. We're doing a different change of pace. I remember listening to this gentleman and his partner singing rap songs when I was growing up. And to see him on the Geico commercial has been an absolute treat. And I know you guys know who he is. It's DC, the Brain Supreme, is going to be with us tonight to talk to us. And I am so excited. He's in the green room right now. So you know what? I'm just going to shut up, and I'm just going to get this show on the road. Hello. I can't hear you. Okay. I have no audio. Hang on. Are we muted? Oh, unmute. Let's see why I can't hear him. Hang on. Nope. I can't hear you. He's talking. Hang on. We're just trying to get the audio. All right. Hang on. I've got an audio issue. Check your audio. I can't hear you. Let me try. I'm going to mute and unmute him. Let's see. There you go. I got you.
See, I do so many of these that every platform might be a little bit different, so I got to switch interfaces and microphones and all kind of things. So how are you doing this evening?
Great. Well, I have the same problem with this show because I used to, the little intro thing used to be like loaded into the software itself, but I have to do it separately now. So sometimes I'll forget my mic's muted and I'll start going into, hey, welcome to the show, and then I realize that nobody can hear me.
Yep, stream you.
I'm very honored to have you on the show. Welcome.
I'm honored to be here. Yeah. What's going on?
People were looking forward to this show.
Really?
Yeah.
Little old me?
Yeah, little old you. A lot of my fans are the same age as I am, so we grew up listening to you guys.
Yeah. So you're in Sacramento?
Yes.
I went to school at Sac State.
Are you in Atlanta?
Yep. Went to school at Sac State from 84 to 89.
Nice.
Yep, stayed at Jenkins Hall. I know Sacramento very well. I was there when Kenny Smith got drafted. Did my first song with Wayman Tisdale, and we did. There's a little city in Sacramento somewhere. It's like a little miniature city. We did the video there. I had all kind of fun in Sacramento. That was a special part of my life, for real.
Fantastic. Tell me about you. A lot of people, we all know you from rapping and doing that stuff, but let's learn about the man behind it all.
What do you want to know? All right, I'm going to tell it to you like this. I am a hustler.
Okay.
I'm different. I work very hard, and I just love to learn. And my life has been full of learning. It's been a journey of hard knocks, just like everybody else, and trials and tribulations.
Mm-hmm.
But I've learned to always stay positive, And I've always learned to figure things out to where the glass is always going to be half full with me and not half empty. And I try to relate that to anybody I talk to because that's the only way I know how to be, right? And
Yeah.
the first two words of Whoop There It Is are party people because that's what I am. I've been a DJ for 30 years and my job is to make the people party. And
Mm-hmm.
I come from the golden age of hip hop when there was only one question: can you rock a party? Can you move a crowd? And I live my life that way. And I've just always been tenacious. I've always persevered, and I've always made it fun when I've done it. So that is in a nutshell my life. And I can tell you, after 30 years of being in the music industry, I'm having more fun now than I've ever had in my life. And I'm better now than I've ever been in my life because all of those things that you might think are hardships or sacrifices or mistakes or missed opportunities, they're not. They're part of the necessary process of things that you do in your life that if you don't give up, later on serve you in ways you could never imagine. And I'm sitting here as living proof of that. And we'll get into that.
Awesome.
Hmm.
Tell me, okay, because you were doing DJing, was that before the group got together? The two of you got together, or
Okay, so me and Steve, it's a quick story.
okay?
Me and Steve met in high school, 11th grade. Steve had a band. I wanted to be in his band. And I worked in the truancy office and I heard the choir down the hall. I wanted to be in the choir. And
Mm-hmm.
then I went to my first high school dance in 11th grade and heard the DJs with two turntables and a microphone. And I was like, I got to have it all. And I dedicated my life to being a DJ, being a singer, being a rapper, and just you know, just really honing those crafts. And I sucked at the beginning, just like everybody else does. But I turned all of it into a career. And this is at a very young age. And I owe it all to my parents because my parents worked me like a dog when I was a kid. And, I'm telling you, I have been stemming collard greens and shucking peas since I was 5 years old. My mother had a prep cook, right? And my
Mm-hmm.
father made me wash cars and cut the lawn and do the hedges and shovel the snow. And because of that, I have never feared work. So I've always had a job. I've always worked. I've always tried to be the best at what I do. And that goes for anything I'm doing recreationally. So when I graduated high school, we still had the band together. I would come back in the summers and we would play. But then as young people grow, you kind of split apart. And me and Steve stayed together, and that's how tag team formed. And I went to college. I went to Sac State and got better at DJing. I used to DJ all the frat parties, and I used to move all the tables in the dining commons, right where we used to eat on Friday nights. And they had a PA system, and I would hook my stuff up, and I would DJ and throw a party for everybody in the dorms. So everybody knew me because of that. Then I started DJing at certain places out in Arden Way. I started DJing Cocoa Palms a little bit. I was
Nice.
I was DJing Black Family Day in UC Davis. I By the end of my college career, I was a very formidable DJ. But I went to visit Steve in Atlanta, and I fell in love with Atlanta. And I knew I wasn't going to stay in Sac, so I moved straight to Atlanta. And when moved to Atlanta, the DJs weren't as sharp as I thought they were, and I just fell right in and took over. And I've been DJing since day one. And I was supposed to go get a job at CN, but I was like, I could do this for the summer. And I DJed in strip clubs and regular clubs and every type of club, but that is what made me who I am because it taught me how to hustle, right? It taught me how to work hard. It taught me that it's up to me to make my own money. And as time goes along, I'm having fun as a young man, as a DJ. I realized that we can't make hip hop coming out of the Southeast. We have to make bass music. We have to make that up tempo booty shake, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just knew it because I'm playing the records. And I went to Steve and I said, "Hey man, we got to make some up tempo stuff." He's like, "Man, I don't know how to make that bass stuff, but I love it, but I don't know how to make it." And I said, "Don't look at it that way." I said, "Go back to the essence of hip hop, and for me, the essence of hip hop is Planet Rock. Planet Rock, Egyptian Lover on the West Coast, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, those back in the day, those were Dr. Dre's first records. Those records make him cringe, but he was very. That was the beginning, right? And those records were hit records. And our first attempt to make one of those types of records, I've been working on several songs, but Whoop There It Is kind of stuck. And I told Steve about it, and he was like, "Yo, how do you spell it?" And I was like, WHOOMP. So we recorded it, and it was on I never forget. It was on a Thursday in 1992 August, and I went to work, popped the cassette in, and to this day, it is the biggest record I have ever played, and the biggest response I've ever gotten on a record. And I've been DJing for 30 years.
What
And
what was it like? I mean, when you finally realized it was a hit, what was that like for you?
I didn't
Coming
realize
from your
it was a hit. I thought, my hubris as a young man, everything I make is going to be a hit. That's what you think when you're a young man, right?
yeah.
You're lost in the sauce. So I stopped playing it because I was playing other records. And one of the girls was like, "How come you don't play Whoop There It Is anymore?" I was like, "I can play it for you." I played it again. The same thing happened. Everybody ran to the DJ, but what is that? And I was like, "Okay, I think we really have something." And what really did it was one of my record company reps. That because back then everything was vinyl, so the record company reps, they had them in each region, while the major labels would have to come bring us our records and
Mm-hmm.
service the radio, service the record pools. A guy named Alan Cole from Columbia Records said, "Hey man, what is that?" And I was like, "That's my new record, dog." And he was like, "Give me that. I'm going to New York. I want to let him hear it." I get a call from Columbia Records. I'm like, "This could work for every record label." Now I'm talking to every record label, and I'm like, "We're on our way now," but not really, because back then it was just New York, LA. New York didn't know what
Mm-hmm.
to do from something down south, right? LA didn't know what to do anything from something down south. So they liked it, but they didn't believe in it. So they really couldn't pull the trigger on it. And I almost gave up. A lady named Lisa McCall told me to call a gentleman named Al Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Most people know who Al Bell is. In the beginning of soul music, there were three record companies: Philly International, Motown, and Stax Records. Al Bell owned Stax Records. And the year before, he had put out a record called Daisy Dukes by a group called Deuce. And they went gold. And I was like, "Whoa, that's somebody who knows how to do something with this type of music." So I called him. He didn't call me back for a couple weeks. He called me. I was like, "Look, man, we got a hit record, dude. I'm testing them in the hottest clubs in the country. You need to sign us." And he was like, "Okay." And I was like, "Oh, no, don't play with me like that." I said, "You haven't even heard the record." And I'll never forget these words. He said, "Brother, I don't have to hear the record. I hear it in your spirit. Let's agree to agree. Get this thing moving." So I gave my 2 weeks in Magic City, which was the club I was working at, signed a messed up record deal, and in a month and a half, we were platinum, and the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, when things now, which takes me back to my question, when things really started moving, what was it like when people would stop you on the street? Or did they not realize that at first it was you?
Nah, because people still don't know who I am. And it's all because I've been a DJ all my life.
Yeah.
Watched. This is very important. I've watched how people treat other people. And I've watched stars rise and fall.
Mm-hmm.
And I watch when they rise, they treat people like crap. And then I watch when they fall, and the same people they treat like crap revel in their demise. And they never come back from it. And just being a jerk, I vowed never to be that dude, because I never had
Mm-hmm.
to be that dude, because I knew who I was. I had already been successful, right? So for me, it was really not that big of a deal. I was happy, of course. I had fun, of course, because that's what I do. But it wasn't overwhelming to me like it is for a lot of other people, because
Mm-hmm.
I stayed the same. I knew I had to stay the same because I knew it wasn't gonna last. So when it don't last and you got to go back, or when you got to be around people, I'm still the same person.
Right.
And I talk to people now. I still got friends from Sacramento where every time they talk to me, it's like it's amazing that you are the same person, that there's no difference in you. And I'm like, because I only know how to be one person, and that's me. And I'm an actor as well. In acting, they say, the one thing that people don't really understand is that you're enough. You don't need to be anything else. You're enough. There's only one you in the world. So why would I want to be like everybody else? And that's why, even to this day, I can go anywhere I want to go and nobody knows who I am. And I'm on national TV dang near every day. And they don't know who I am. Part of that's because of COVID and we just had masks on when it was hot. But now, again, it still doesn't, it's still, people still don't recognize me. And it's how you carry yourself. Now, I walked around with an entourage and was just always had a bunch of gold chains. No, I'm a grown man. I don't have to do that. I don't need that. I've been a DJ all my life. I've always been popular. I've always been the point of everything. But then I don't need that. That's not what drives me. What drives me is to be a better man than I was yesterday, right? There's different things that move me, and that's just the way I am.
You could be so inspirational for some of the newer hip hop guys that are out. The younger guys, because I hate to say it, in reality, but it does go. Fame can go to your head really fast.
Oh yeah,
really fast.
I'm not gonna lie, it went to my head, but I was able to control it, right? See, you have to be able to control your ego and your pride. You can still have fun. Hey, don't get. Trust me, my ego is just as big as the rest of them, but you'll never see it, right? Because I keep it sequestered, and my pride is just as big as everybody else's too. But I keep it sequestered because I need my mind open, and that's what kills people. That's what makes people old and bitter, is that they can't sequester their pride. That's why there's just certain things about, I love to be wrong, because being wrong serves two purposes. It kills your ego, it kills your pride, but being wrong is the path to being right. And I know I'll never be wrong with that again. So if you can admit it, of course I'm dying inside. Oh, I'm wrong. But my mind is open now, right? And I'm not stuck. Yeah. My mind is open to possibilities and creativity and things that keep me moving forward. I play offense. I don't play defense. I don't get bogged down. I play offense and I keep it moving. And I'm always learning. I have a point of term: learn how to learn. It's not enough to learn. You have to learn how to learn. Right? Like, example, you get a real long email, and man, I gotta read this real long email. I'll read the first 2 lines. Now I'm daydreaming. By the time I finish the email, I'm like, I wasn't even paying attention. Right? But learn how to learn. I'll tell you, that's why you laugh, because you know what I'm talking about. I'll throw that email in the AI, right? Reading the software, and now that email is reading to me, and I'm hearing it, but something catches my ear. Now I'm reading along with it. Now I'm retaining more information and understanding it, just like that. Learn how to learn. You got to come up with tactics that keep you unstuck, right?
Right.
Always a way. You got to always flip it on its head. You got to always think in the reverse. You got to always mirror things so you can see it in another perspective. And when you look at things at another perspective, things open up to you. Ideas open up to you. Creativity opens up to you. Flexibility opens up to you. And now you're talking. Now you're moving. Now you're accomplishing things. Now you're creating mastery for yourself that you don't even know that you're doing at the time. So I keep my head down grinding, and I stay 9 steps ahead, because if you stay 9 steps ahead, you're going to never be behind, and you'll always be prepared. Right? People are like, DC, you can't do everything. You're doing too much. You can't do everything. I was like, you know what? You're right. But I sure enough can be prepared for everything. Right? Because and they're like, you know what? That's right. That's good, DC. And I'm like, I just shake my head, because I'm like, the very thing you just disapproved of is the same thing you now approve of, said a different way. Learn how to learn. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to look at everything in both perspectives, right? So I've been through it. We've been through lawsuits. We've been through this. We've been through that. But I know it's my responsibility as a grown man overcome all that and be better and learn and do whatever I got to do to be better than I was yesterday.
When you look back and like you said, you signed a contract with this guy and it wasn't the best contract. What happened with that? Because I know when I was reading your mini profile, it mentions that you had issues.
I mean, we're in a 15-year legal battle, pretty much 20
Wow.
years. Yeah. I would call it a legal battle because the record company went bankrupt. Another record company bought it out of bankruptcy. Then they took something they weren't supposed to take, and now we're the pawns in the middle. And now these two record companies are fighting. I can fight one record company, but I can't fight two.
Wow.
So instead of looking at the glass half empty, I looked at the glass half full. I know I will get my day in court. So I am going to mirror both of these record companies. I'm going to learn what they're doing, what their tactics are, how they're pitting me against each other. And I'm going to learn and basically become a paralegal. And that's what I've done because I had all the paperwork because they used to give me all the paperwork at the record company, but I would put it in a big box and send it to my mother's house and she put it in the basement. And then I went back and had all that. So I put all that together, dotted my T's, crossed my I's, organized all that. It's called discovery. I learned what a motion is because if you want to bring if you're trying to bring somebody to trial, you got to file a motion, and that motion, somebody's got to take that case. So a district court's got to take it, and you got to find a place to have that case. And they went through motion after motion after motion. I learned more and more and more, and this is over 20 years.
Yeah.
And when it came time for us to, to do our thing, the lawyers that I chose, I gave them a big box of discovery. Cost me half the money because I did all the research over them years, and now they came up with 5 ways for us to prevail, and we did. And we prevailed, at a cost, because it's always going to be at a cost, especially that,
Right.
there's no money left, right? If anything, you owe money because of legal fees, but you don't owe money physically where I got to pay money out of my pocket. It's just the song pays for the legal fees, and then it's on. But we still always been making money because we did have some semblance of some of our rights to make a living. So that was the blessing out of it all. And I learned the music game inside out. And then I said, when things like that happen to me, I vow that it will never happen again. So when people was playing my money, I said that will never happen again because I'm going to learn finance. And then I became a licensed commodities broker, right? And I passed the Series 3 test, and now I'm working for 3 commodities firms while I'm DJing at night, and it was just too much. And but I got an education out of it. Year 2000, I listened to CNBC, didn't know what they were talking about. Year 2002, I knew everything they were talking about. And then I found a better way to invest, right? And then I was in the self-help thing. Robert T. Kiyosaki, Zig Ziglar, all those books, right? And one of the books was like, run your life like a corporation. And that's what I started doing. And I've had my corporation since 2002, and I run my life like a corporation. How do you do that? You just start. You start and you ask questions. What kind of corporation are you going to be? Well, what's the tax bracket? Or how you do this and how you do that? And it started with credit. Fixed my credit. Then I was like, you can have corporate credit. I was like, corporate credit? What's that? Well, you got to have a corporation to have corporate credit. Oh, okay. Then you got to get a DUNS number. Oh, okay. Then you got to get a bookkeeper. You got to do your taxes. Oh, cool. Let me do that. Then couldn't find a bookkeeper to do it right. I've learned how to use QuickBooks myself. Now I am masterful of QuickBooks. I know where every penny is going in my organization because I do the books, right?
Right.
And all you got to do is just learn it. Like, people make it harder than what it is. That's why I love to learn, because I know, and I want it to be hard because I know if it's hard, nobody else is going to try to do it, and I'll be there by myself. And then I make it custom to me. And then you develop these skills as you go. And, I tell this to people, I was like, I was not just a DJ. I was your light guy. I was your sound guy. I did your flyers. I did your marketing. I did your radio shows. I did your radio commercials. I did your television commercials. I did your fashion photography. I got the girls in the magazines. I made myself invaluable. I didn't do all that because I wanted to do it. I did it because, if you're in a dead end job I tell everybody, and you hate your job, the best way to get over it is to do everybody else's job. Learn how to do everybody else's job in that corporation or in that company. Learn how to do your boss's job. Learn how to do everything. And somebody doesn't show up to work, I got it. And you do this because not for the company. You do it for yourself because that's your education to make your transition to the next bigger thing smooth. And if you do that at every job you're at, you're going to transition yourself up the ladder where in that company, there was no way for you to transition yourself up that ladder because you get to go from better job to better job to better job to working for yourself, right? Because you know all these skills. And that's what I did as a DJ. I learned how to build websites. I learned SEO. I'm a master at SEO right now. And there's always a traumatic experience that makes me like that. 2011, everybody thought Barack Obama was in our video, right? And we did press for a whole week. And I was pissed off at the end of that week because I didn't have no money in my pocket. I'm like, we did ABC, NBC, Stephen Colbert show. We did all these shows and I don't got no money. I was like, that'll never happen again. And the reason is because I had no web presence. You know, you think that because you got a record, your hit record is always going to be like that. I didn't think that, but I didn't have a web presence. That's one that slipped through the cracks because that back then, that's kind of was the beginning of all that, of all of social media and all the things that you can do to market yourself. And I started SEO. And back then, if you typed in tag team, it was all wrestling.
Right.
Type in tag team day, it's all tag team. It took me 10 years to learn all that, but I'm masterful at it now. And now I can get in front of anybody I want. I can do my own marketing. I'm my own publicist. I'm my own booking agent. I'm my own travel agent. I'm my own everything. Right? And you think that it's too much, but because of all those skills, because of me making myself invaluable to everybody else, I'm invaluable to me. Because all those things have come back to serve me in ways I could have never imagined. That's why, and that's the definition of hustle. You have to work your butt off and not expect anything. Because when you expect something, your emotions come into play, and then you quit because your feelings are hurt. Right? But if you don't expect anything, there's no quid pro quo. If you don't expect anything, you just play offense and keep it moving, keep planting seeds, right?
Absolutely.
And that's how that is my mindset. So as this goes along, I realize certain things. 2003, 2004, I think I'm sitting in a movie theater and I'm looking at Will Ferrell dance on a table to Whoop, There It Is, in A Christmas Story, in Elf. That's when I knew Whoop, There It Is was an evergreen record, and it's up to me to make the money. Ain't nobody gonna give me nothing. Ain't nobody gonna give you anything out there. It is out there for you. How bad do you want it? And that's a cliche, but it's true. It's like, what are you willing to do to get what you need or what you want? Because I talk to people all the time. I do this 3-4 times a day. And I ask people, I was like, what do you want? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? What do you want? And they can't tell you. And if you don't know what you want, you're just spinning wheels. It was like, well, DC, what you want? Like, I want it all. Period. Right? And I'm working for that. Like, because pandemic changed everybody. Changed me. Best thing never happened to me because it's like, I do not want to leave this earth regretting something I didn't do that I wanted to do. So I realized all those things that I beat myself up over, all those mistakes I thought I made, all those sacrifices, I can correct all that crap. Right?
Right.
And it's like, perfect example, 2006, I'm in the bowels of Disney. I'm teaching Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse how to rap. Those are the voices, the husband and wife voice team of Disney's biggest star, Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. DC the Brains Queen is teaching them how to rap. And thus, that starts my voiceover career because they're telling me about voiceover, but I'm Whoop, There It Is back then. I didn't think about no voiceover, but that's what started it. And I beat myself up for years because of that, because I was there.
Yeah.
I was there. I was sitting in the office of New Line Cinema 2006. And the president knows my manager, and they're all talking. They're like, "Yeah, we're working on this new movie. LL Cool J and Wesley Snipes are the leads. They're battling for the lead. I think we might want to cast you." I'm like, "Cool." Talk to my manager. Blah blah blah. And it's like, "Well, it's going to be a big movie now. It's going to be called what's it called? It's called Blade. It's a vampire movie." Okay, well, call my manager. I'm with it. My nonchalant attitude was like, it was unethical because I was there. I was right there, but I was there, and my aunt Judy says it to me, and I'll never forget this. Sometimes in life, we're just not ready.
Mhm.
That's okay, right?
Right.
Because now I stand before you, a voice artist, doing several voiceover projects a year, auditioning for everything I want to audition for. I stand before you with 4 movies about to come out, 2 TV shows about to drop at the same time, and we just finished another Geico commercial. So I'm an actor and a voice artist. 20 something years later, on a level that I probably wouldn't have been on back then. Right?
I think you're right. I think, we don't take opportunities because we're not ready at
Yeah.
that point. But I also agree with you in that COVID has, even with me, has given me enough time to refocus.
Oh, yes.
Not working for a year, and doing all that. It's given me time to take a look at things and go, I really like doing that, but I didn't bother to do it, but I'm going to do more of it
Yep.
and
Hey,
see how it goes.
it's reinvention. Everybody, was scared. So
Uh-huh.
everybody's like, what are we going to do? What am I going to do? And I'm like, can't do everything, but I can always do this. And voiceover has saved me time and time again because I didn't give up, right?
Uh-huh.
I wasn't that good at it, but I kept chugging along little bit by little bit, by little bit, right? And I went back and just reinvented myself. I record all the stuff that I do. So I went back to 2008 when I first started voiceover. Went back to those first lessons, and it was heartbreaking because I had to listen to my 10-year-old ago self have a conversation, which was just irritating and gut wrenching. And then I had to hear myself do my first voiceover, which was just skin crawly. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. But then it was inspirational because I'm an actor now and a voiceover now, and I didn't give up. I didn't quit. I played offense, and I didn't quit. Now I understand what my coaches were talking about because I thought it was their fault. And I was like, I could do this, and I did it. I did that first voiceover script, and it was angelic because it's the first time in my life I had mastery over my voice, and I started just booking like crazy. And then I shot my first movie in Nebraska during the pandemic. Then got a call to shoot another movie in Georgia because they was open. Nebraska's open, so we shoot. Just wear your mask. And then I'm in. I get a Publix fall campaign. I get a Tyler Perry House of Pain episode, and then here comes Geico. And everybody thinks all this other stuff is because of Geico, but everything Geico is
Uh-huh.
the cherry on top.
Uh-huh.
And I've been booking like crazy. And I'm not trying to be a star. I just
Right.
like to act because it's hard. And I think I've gotten a handle on it, and I get better at it. I get better and better and better. And it takes that. I knew when I started I wasn't going to quit. And I started acting in 2017 just by happenstance. Just because somebody believed it was like, I like your face, put them on camera. Because I was with People Store Agency for voiceover. And they
Uh-huh.
put me on for acting. And then I got hooked. And I booked maybe after 4 months. And I was booking, little regional local stuff. And then
Right.
I booked a national Pizza Hut commercial. Was getting ready to shoot it, and then COVID hit. And I wasn't mad. I was happy because I got booked. I knew
Right.
that all my hard work had paid off, and sometimes that is the goal. Not the goal, the goal. That's what you want. And so even with the Geico commercial, it's like, okay, you got a Geico commercial. Yeah, but now I gotta prepare. Because I'm an actor. I don't just show up and be like, what we gonna do? And I prepare for a whole month. And if I don't prepare, then there's no spin and scoop.
Uh-huh.
There's no dances. there's no sprinkles if I don't prepare, because I prepared all that and went to the producer and the director and said, I got some ideas, like anything you want to do, DC. And we did all of it. And those are the nuances that make that commercial what it is.
When Geico,
yeah.
did you approach Geico or did they approach you?
So actually, all this happened because of the Barack Obama story. Because think about it, I couldn't be found in 2011, but I get a call from my agent 2020 September. DC, you just booked a Geico commercial. I'm like, okay, why are you playing with me in a pandemic? I haven't even auditioned for a Geico commercial.
Oh.
It's like, DC, they wanted tag team. I was like, oh, tag team. I forgot about tag team. Right? And what happened is they called my tag team phone. I didn't answer. But because I could be found, they went to my IMDb. Then they called my agent. I let my agent make the deal because this is what they do. Talk about synergy. And it's the most lucrative deal I have ever made in my life.
Wow.
And then it was time to go to work. And then after we shot the commercial, it was like, what am I going to do now? Can't go do shows, can't do this. Well, got to find a publicist. So we having meetings trying to find publicists, but no publicists want to work because they're like, we don't know what to do with a Geico commercial, and don't the things work themselves? And I'm like, forget y'all. Okay, thank you. Either they was using a pandemic, they didn't want to get my money. I don't know what it was, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be my own damn publicist. And whenever I get stuck, listen, kids. Whenever you get stuck, whenever there's something that's just you can't get over, join the organization, society, or association, because those entities are filled with people who love their profession that have been doing it 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And I joined the Public Relations Society of America. I'm on a Zoom call 2 days in during Super Bowl week. And I asked a question. Our press release is relevant. And they're like, well, what's it for? I was like, well, I'm kind of featured in a National Geico commercial called Scoop. There it is. And I'm looking at the chat and they're like, wait a minute. What's he doing here? Is that really him? Oh my God. I love that commercial. My kids love that commercial. My dog loves that commercial. That's commercial. It just blew up the entire chat. Like I'm talking about blew up the chat. And the moderator's like, we'd like to welcome DC to the organization. We're going to talk about that Geico commercial after. But back to this question, our press release is relevant. And the CEO is like, yes, because the whole last year has been COVID. The whole last year has been political. And here you guys come throwing sprinkles and spinning scoops, and DC, your smile. She said, of course that's going to work. You're going to go here for all the publicists. You're going to go here for all the journalists. You're going to go here for all the TV talk shows. You're going to go here for all the podcasts. And you're going to make sure your pictures are like this. And she gave me the entire breadth of her existence in 10 minutes. And I have not looked back, and it has opened doors for me unimaginable. And there's the reason that you and I are talking right now.
That is really awesome. And and on the side now, you're doing lectures like this for people, inspirational stuff to talk to people about getting out there and following their dreams, right?
Yeah, because these podcasts, me doing this every day, is practice. I'm getting in the reps, right? You get better. I get better at storytelling. I get better articulation for voiceover. I get better at meeting. It's fun to meet new people. It's fun to meet different people, diverse people, people that don't agree with you, people that do agree with you, people that aren't professional, people that are, people that have a real small podcast in their bathroom, to people who have a big giant building with a podcast, right? But it's all the same, because when I start talking this talk, there's no denying it, because I live this. You're watching me do this real time. And you know what I've been through, right? I'm not telling you something out of a book. I'm telling you what I live and what I know, right? And all I'm trying to do is talk to people the way I wish someone had talked to me when I was a young man. I wouldn't listen, but still.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have listened, but still, because, youth is wasted on the young. But that's what I try to do for people. So If a person can be stuck and say, "Oh, I heard he said go join an organization," I guarantee it'll change your life. Because every time I join an organization, it opens up things for me I never thought. I mean, we were trying to get shows about 5 years ago, and everybody's like, "Well, you only got one song, and you old." And I was like, "All right, like we can't get on your roster. You can't get us no shows." And it was just that same excuse over and over again. So what I do, I went and join an organization. I went and join the International Entertainment Buyers Association. So instead of going to the promoters, I went to the buyers. I went to the top of the food chain. You have the buyers, you have the venues, you have the big time promoters, which is Live Nation and iHeartRadio. Then you've got the mom and pops, the very people who are telling me that I'm a one hit wonder and I can't do anything. Then you got your managers, then you got me. I've cut out effectively the whole middle. I go to their convention. Me and Chubby Checker, the only black dudes in this convention, 5,000 strong. I got a pocket full of business cards with a big "Whoop, there it is" T-shirt on, and I start networking. Hey, how you doing? My name is DC Glare, Tag Team. We have a clean '90s rap nostalgia show, and I was just wondering if you're interested. And the moment they heard "clean," I was in a different world because now I was accepted. There was no stigma. And they were like, you know what? We could use you for the intermission for this. We could use you for the intermission on the Ice Capades. We could do you on the radio. We're about to do a state fair. We could use you on the whole Hard Rock Cafe series. We can use you for this. And then all of a sudden, I'm doing more shows than I could have ever imagined. Because I hustle. I figure things out. I think differently. I don't take no for answer. I don't do what the traditionalists do. Because everybody's success story is different.
Right.
So you can make your success story custom to you. And that's what I did. And now we're getting shows on a variety that I have never seen anybody. I mean, we're going to be at the Thanksgiving Day parade. I just threw out a first pitch for the White Sox. We did perform before a baseball game. Just the sheer magnitude, right? We gonna get paid to go to Alaska to just give ice cream to kids.
Oh, that's great.
Right? Like, what is that? And it just blows me away. We do NBA halftime shows. We do NBA finals. We've done the Super Bowl, all stuff around the Super Bowl. We always do just the most variety of things that nobody else can do. Because
look at the generations because of that commercial. You're reaching all these generations.
Yeah, and but
it's like when Elvis would go on stage, right? And he'd look out in the audience, and people had their kids, and they had their kids on their shoulders watching the shows. The kids are at the shows. That's what's happening to you guys right now.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's always been happening. You know why? Because remember the story of me teaching Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse how to rap?
Mm-hmm.
We did a Disney record with Disney Records. Kids listened to that for 10 years. And that was the hottest record on the song. That was like the jock jam for kids, right?
Right.
In 2000, here comes Kids Bop. Kids Bop is a series of videos and remakes of hit records. Ours was number one on that, and they played that in all the schools. So the preschoolers, they would play it to wear them out so they go to nap time.
Sure.
In the first, second, third graders, they played if they were good that week, and then they danced to it that week. So now when this commercial's playing, the father's standing there dancing and playing to the commercial, singing along to it, and the kids sing along to it, and the dad's like, "What you know about that?" And the kid's like, "What you know about that?" And now all of that groundwork and all those seeds that nobody ever knew were laid have become the harvest. And then the people who never knew about it know about it now in a way that they never have, because everybody's mother, everybody's grandmother, everybody's great granny loves that commercial. I'm telling you, people will not know. I went to Comic-Con because of that's why I did a podcast for a con podcast about a month and a half ago. They were like, call me back like, DC, you're just so inspiring. We want to invite you to Comic-Con. You can get your own table. You're gonna sit with us. And I went to Comic-Con for a day, and I saw it, and nobody knew who I was. They were like, "Who are you?" I had a big sign and everything. Like, "Who are you? Doctor Who? What TV show are you on?" And everybody around me is just laughing because nobody knows. People just come up. Everybody's coming up. Lady next to me, she was in Dragon Ball Z for she voiced like two of the characters, and she had a line all the way down the convention center. But I didn't mind that because I was there to people. I was just there to observe. But when people would come up and they would be like, you don't know who this is? I would just be quiet. They were like, you don't know who this is. And they would just really try to give them clues and everything. And all I would do is just go, sprinkles! And they would melt because they realized who I was at that point. And the fact that they loved that so much, you could just see it on their face. And that feeling is the most gratifying feeling there is because, and then I'm taking pictures with everybody. And then people just walking by, like, who is that? And then it's just like it spread through the whole convention. And then it's like at the end of the day, everybody's around me because I'm not there as DC the Brand Supreme Tag Team. I'm there as DC talking about life. I've got all these people around me and I'm talking just like this. And they're riveted because everybody says the same thing to me. They said, I've heard all this before. I just never thought about it that way. I've never heard it said that way. Because that is what it's all about, right? Coming up with something different, being yourself, doing what you got to do, persevering, not giving up, right? There's no giving up. There's no quitting, you can't. It's life. You can't. I can't. Now, I'm just as lazy as everybody else. I promise you. I'm lazy as they come, but I just do it anyway, man. Just do it anyway. So, right now, everything I am still tired from being gone for 15 days because we've been doing so much. We've been touring and shot up the other Geico commercials, and that was that like I actually have my own ice cream. It's a sweepstakes. Only way you can get it is if you make a TikTok video dancing to Scoot, and then you get a chance to win. And it's like, don't nobody care about that. Everybody want the ice cream because they love the commercial. But I knew that was going to happen, right? So that's part of the thinking. That's part of how you stay creative because you're thinking 5 moves ahead. So now it's in a reverse type of situation now because somebody saw that on YouTube or on a social and went to the grocery store and said, hey, you got that tag team ice cream? And the person behind the counter was like, what are you talking about? It's like, they got an ice cream. Like, really? They got an ice cream? Yeah, for the commercial. Let me go ask my manager. Hey, we got that tag team ice cream? What are you talking about? They got an ice cream. Really? We call corporate. Hey, are we ever going to get that ice cream, that tag team ice cream? What are you talking about? Tag team got an ice cream. Word? Corporate. Geico, when are we going to get our tag team ice cream? I never thought about it happening like that till yesterday. I've always been thinking, how am I going to get them to do this? It's unfortunate that it can't be in the store, but it's going to be so overwhelming that, I mean, we've been doing press like crazy. USA Today, just New York Times, everything. Ice cream. I got my own ice cream. Ow! Right? Ow! But it's always an opportunity that leads to 10 other opportunities if you know what you're doing. And if you keep working, if you work it and you throw things in the universe and you let people know what you want, you have to let the universe know what you want or it'll never manifest. Think differently, people, because it's out there for you. We're in the universe. Anything you want is out there for you. You have to figure out how to go get it. And I've given you
true.
This hour-long talk has given you at least 10 ways to go do it.
Absolutely. I want to watch it again and jot a bunch of stuff down. I'll tell you right now. Yeah, you got me going.
It's just tactics, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think where everybody gets caught up, because this is what everybody tells me, is like, well, what, the kids today, they're all just in the instant gratification. I was like, old people like that too. Yeah. Everybody like that. Everybody want it fast. It ain't just the young kids. Don't put that on them. Everybody's like that. And I just tell them, can't be like that because you don't sit there and plant a seed. and then sit in the ground and watch it and be like, okay, seed, I need you to grow. So why ain't you growing, seed? Man, this seed don't work. I quit. We know people like that, right?
Yep, I do.
It doesn't work like that. There is no quid pro quo. You plant that seed and keep it moving. You don't know if that seed need water, if it need milk, if it needs sunshine. You could plant a seed in a drought and it'd be a drought for 3 years and then it rained a little bit and then that seed turned into a redwood tree. And 10 years later, when the branches fall off and hit you on the head and bless you. Because you kept it moving and you didn't just think about it all the time. You didn't dwell on it. And I tell you, I have planted so many seeds in my life. I stand before you in a forest of opportunity unimaginable. I surely didn't imagine it. And opportunity after opportunity after opportunity every day falls my way. And I just try to be prepared for everything to be able to accommodate it and management with my time and still have fun and still learn and still make life everything. I am 22 years old. I feel young. This is my fountain of youth. Education is the fountain of youth. I'm telling you, learn how to learn, right? If you got to listen to it, if you got to get it transcribed, if you got to have somebody read it to you like a bedtime story, I don't give a damn how you do it. Learn how to learn. And I'm telling you, the easiest way is to join those organizations. Or even if you don't want to join the organization, call every number on that organization's website and ask questions. And I guarantee you, after 2 weeks, you'll have a college education on what it is you want to do and if it's for you. And then you have to put in the work. You can get the knowledge, but you still got to put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not enough to just know it. Now you got to go put it in the work. And that's why I love doing these podcasts, because it holds me accountable. Me sitting up here talking all this stuff to you and preaching and trying to inspire and just talking and running my mouth. I appreciate that, because it makes me hold myself accountable, because I can't sit here and do this every day if I'm not living it.
Mm-hmm.
If people don't see, if 2 months from now, the things that I'm talking about, you don't say, hey, I remember when he told me that was going to happen, and it happened. Now that gives me more validity to all the things that I'm saying. Now you know that can work for you. It's up to you, right? And sometimes people it ain't for everybody. It's not. This comes from a lot of women teaching me how to cook and clean and take care of myself and be respectful and do the things I know how to do. This comes from a lot of men who nurtured me and me listening and me being blessed to have men in my life who could teach me how to be a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's my responsibility to do the same to anybody out there willing to listen, and that's what I do.
When you look back on your life,
mm-hmm.
what do you think is one of the biggest? Obviously you can't really top a hit record, but what do you think is one of the biggest accomplishments you've made other than that?
I am still here. That's it. I'm here flourishing. 55 years old, and I feel like I'm 22. What is that? How many 55-year-olds feel like that?
That's true.
Right? That's my biggest accomplishment, that I didn't quit, that I kept going, and that I get to be lucky enough to experience the same thing twice and then make it bigger the second time, because I'm mature enough to handle it and to make it bigger and bigger and bigger into something, make 5 things just as big as the first thing I did, because I educated myself. I didn't stop. I didn't quit. Now, all that hard work, all that pain, all the things I thought was the wrong thing now come back to serve me as one. And it serves only me because it's custom, because I went through it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. What else is there? What else is there?
I hear you.
I don't live for material accomplishments or material things. Or you won't see me in gold chains. You won't see me in a fly car. You won't see me in none of that, because it's irrelevant. I want I want accomplishments and legacy. I want to be archived for the rest of humanity. Right? That's why I do SEO, because that's the process of taking everything from the real world, the tangible world, before 1993, and putting it into the new world, which is the internet. Because think about it. They're probably, why is Shakespeare, Van Gogh, Da Vinci, why are they all still revered to this day? The only reason they're revered to this day because somebody archived their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Shakespeare's friend was probably way better than him as a playwright, but his house burned down with a scroll, so nobody even knows who he is. Right? You've seen the stories. Think about it. You've seen the stories.
Well, that's the cool thing about commercials too, because you're doing these commercials with the song, and they may stop the commercial after a year, but maybe 10 years down the line, they're going to bring that commercial back.
Think about it. I'm in the realm and in the air with Where's the Beef, right? The camel.
Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
It's a campaign. This is our second one, and they let me do the voiceover.
Nice.
So they're not going to let me. So to me, I'm going to keep grinding because I have shown them that they have picked the right one. And you can ride this horse for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm going to inspire your employees. I'm going to inspire your staff. I'm going to inspire everybody who comes across my path. And you're going to ride this horse till his legs break. Because I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to let you give up on me. I'm not going to let you go to the next thing, because if you do, that's fine too. But I guarantee you, you're going to see me somewhere else doing it for somebody else and be like, damn, we should have kept it. Because I don't quit.
Yeah.
And I'm better now than I've ever been. And I'm about to start making music again, not as an artist, but I can always make a jingle. I can always make a song for a movie soundtrack that I'm auditioning for. I can always just play, right? And you just never know. There's so many opportunities out there that there's just nothing that you can't do. You just have to think differently, and you have to think. You got to think so far high. This is what I do. I think pie in the sky, far-fetched, fantastic, right?
Right.
Which is here, way up here. And people are like, man, you can't do that. I was like, yeah, but I see it. That's what I want. So far away. But then what do? Well, if you can't get it there, bring it back an inch. How's that look? Well, if you did this, that, and that, but it's still kind of out of reach, we'll bring it back another inch. Yeah, now we're getting closer, because if you could do this, this, and that, then maybe catch a break doing this, come back a little more. Well, you can do that within a year, because that's what you're already doing. And where you come back more. Well, this is what you're doing now. And what you don't realize is that you're halfway there. And what you've just done is create a reverse business plan and brought things back to practicality. Now you have a stepping ladder to your goals and dreams.
Fantastic. I was just going to make a quick comment before you go, and that you were talking about people, talking about one-hit wonders. It's one thing for a one-hit wonder to come out, but it's another thing when that one-hit wonder is so catchy that no matter what happens, you can't get it out of your head.
And I don't even care. I embrace it, because I'm like, well, give me another song that you would rather be a one-hit wonder on. And I'm not really the way Whoop There It Is I don't had 100 hits, because Whoop There It Is done so much, it don't die. Think about it. I mean, think about it. Like, if it was going to die, it would have died years ago.
Right.
Wear it out, because everybody likes it, because it represents what we love to do the most, which is celebrate and party. To the end of time, human beings will celebrate.
Right.
Weddings, bar mitzvahs, parties, love, money, all of it.
Fantastic. I want to thank you for coming on. This was, for me, it was an honor.
Well, thank you for letting me run my mouth.
Yeah, like I'm like everybody else. When I saw that Geico commercial, I just went, "Wow, that's really cool." And at first, I was like, "Is that really them?" So.
And that's the
But
first time. That's the first time people were able to really put the song with the faces, right?
right,
If you didn't come
right,
from that era, you know what I mean. So
yeah,
that's why it was just so brilliant for us. And now it just people just it has brought so much joy in a time when joy was needed. It's
absolutely,
like it's been a whole year of clouds, gloom, and doom, and then the sunshine came out and sprinkles came out, and it was like, oh,
absolutely.
we did this so bad. I love sprinkles so much. It's so bad that we do that for the encore at every show because people love it so much, and it's the best part of the show.
There you go. All
So
right, DC. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. And maybe someday I can get you back on to talk to you at some point because I love this. This was great.
yeah, definitely. Take care of yourself. All right. See
All
you
right,
later,
DC.
everybody.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
That was a fun show, and I've always wanted to talk with DC. So thank you so much again. He's still in the green room. Guys, what can I say? I can't follow up anything after that interview, and he's inspired me. I'm going to start jotting things down and start looking at stuff I'm doing right now because, like everybody else, I'm coming out of this COVID thing and trying to figure out what I'm going to be when I grow up. So, yeah, so off we go. Tomorrow, we're going to have a special guest on. She was supposed to be on last month, but she was a victim of the fires up here in Northern California, lost her home. But she's graciously decided to come on tomorrow. Her name is Katrina Rasbull, and they own she and her husband own a metaphysical shop up in Shingle Springs, up in the hills up by where I live. And she is going to be talking about generational curses and how to deal with them. So she's going to be joining us tomorrow at 6:30 usual time. But again, I want to thank DC for coming on. And if you guys want to help me out a little bit, because as you can see by what I'm running on the bottom down there, we are a nonprofit, so that all this wonderfulness comes out of my pocket. So if you guys could find it in your hearts to drop a donation for me to try and keep the show on the air, that would be great. It's paypal.me at California Haunts. And subscribe. Head to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And if you like the show, share it with 5 people. If you hated the show, share it with 5 of your enemies. Just that easy, because we want to keep getting the word out. And you guys are doing fantastic at getting the word out. Our viewership is up again this month. We're really up high again. And I'm really excited about that. So things are happening for us. Like DC says, it's a slow process, but it is happening. And I devote a lot of time to this show. I'm working on it for like 8-9 hours in the evening and putting stuff together and whatnot to bring you guys as good quality as we can. Check us out at www.californiahauntsradio.com or the main California Haunts website at www.californiahauntsradio.org. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow at 6:30, and we will be talking about generational curses. So thank you everybody for coming tonight, and thank you DC once again. It was a blast. Have a good one, everyone.